The Zynthian airship, a magnificent behemoth of swirling metallic curves and radiant light, loomed above the sprawling remnants of old Earth. Its presence was both awe-inspiring and overwhelming, casting elongated shadows over the hurrying figures below. For the citizens, it was a constant reminder of their subjugated status in a universe dominated by the Zynthian Empire. Yet, while most quaked under the weight of such a reality, Gregory Griz Harnett wore a grin. His short stature left him feeling dwarfed, not just by the craft but by the towering aliens that existed within. He often joked that at just a few inches shy of 5 feet, he wasn't the tallest guy in the room, but then again, who needed height when one had ambition? He adjusted his cap, its fabric faded and patched with the memories of countless silly antics, and turned to his friend Lena. She stood beside him, a striking counterpoint with her tall, athletic frame, and a shock of curly blonde hair tumbling across her forehead as she surveyed the scene. "Lena," Griz laughed, directing his gaze upward toward the immense airship, "you know what? I might not be able to reach the top shelf, but I could convince one of those Zynthians to arm-wrestle me. I've got it in me." She snorted at his audacity, shaking her head in disbelief. "Sure, Griz, because nothing says of intergalactic strength, dynamics like a human challenging the Overlord of the Zynthian Empire to a contest of pure muscle." "Exactly. Think about it. Someone has to remind them Earth's not made entirely of doormats." He stepped back from the thrumming crowd, where whispers mingled with chuckles and the air buzzed with the scent of fried delights and pollutants. "All right, brave soul," she responded with mock solemnity, "but remember, he probably has more muscle in his little finger than you have in your entire body." Just then, the airship's docking mechanisms clanked in an orchestrated symphony of engineering. The massive doors hissed open, and out strode Drak'tar, the Zynthian Overlord. He was a figure to behold, clad in armor that shimmered like molten metal under the distant sun, his skin iridescent in shifting hues with every move, a visual testament to his power and authority. "Behold," he boomed, his voice booming enough to reverberate through the ground. "I am Drak'tar of the Zynthian Empire. None can match my strength. Who dares to challenge the might of the Zynthians?" Griz felt adrenaline pumping through him, adrenaline mixed with a dash of reckless bravado. He shared a glance with Lena, an unspoken dialogue of mischief igniting between them. "Who dares?" Griz echoed quietly, his grin growing wider. "Griz, no," Lena urged, a fierce hand gripping his arm, but it was too late. In a whimsical twist of fate, one that Griz thrived on, he took a brave step through the throng, energy thrumming in his veins. Laughter erupted in pockets of the crowd, mingling with shouts of bewilderment as he stood before the towering figure of Drak'tar. "Oi, Drak'tar," Griz shouted, gathering the courage that had always pushed him forward. "How about an arm-wrestling match?" The Overlord turned his gaze, surprise flickering across his remarkably alien features. He looked down at Griz as if trying to comprehend the nerve of this tiny human. "A human dares challenge me?" Drak'tar's amusement echoed the plaza, a rich timbre splashing over the gathered audience. Griz cleared his throat, his heart racing yet ablaze with determination. "You bet. Let's put this mighty being title to the test, shall we?" "Griz, this isn't a game." Lena's voice was a frayed whisper, thick with worry. "Fear not, fragile one," Drak'tar bellowed, the resonance of his voice vibrating through the assembled crowd. "You shall be humiliated, for there is no match for my strength." Griz leaned heavily on an old wooden table that had been set up as part of the Zynthian ambassador's visit, feigning nonchalance. "Not if I sneak in my secret technique," he shot back with a wink. "I've been fortifying my right-hand grip through endless hours of writing. It's lethal." The laughter that resounded from the Zynthian Overlord filled the air, a rumbling sound that mixed alien notes with the sheer ridiculousness of human courage. "You amuse me, human. Very well. Let us match strength." Taking his place at the table, Drak'tar placed his immense hand down, each finger resembling thick tree trunks in girth. Griz's own hand rested against the colossal appendage, feeling dwarfed yet fired up. "Ready?" Drak'tar asked, his piercing azure gaze gleaming with competitive fervor. "Ready as I'll ever be, big guy," Griz replied, the nervousness settling into a steady pulse of excitement, the kind he relished. As the crowd fell into a suspended silence, Griz felt all eyes on him, the weight of an audience anchored with equal parts anxiety and amusement. This wasn't just a challenge, it was a stand against oppression, a stand to prove that courage could manifest in even the unlikeliest vessels. 3, 2, 1, go. At the command, it unleashed like thunder. Drak'tar slammed down with the unstoppable force of a train, aiming to crush Griz's will. The pressure collided with Griz's own hand, discomfort shooting through his bones. Panic threatened to bubble up, but instead of backing down, he let out a wild, defiant laugh. Is that it, Scaleface? Come on, give it some real effort. There was a flicker in Drak'tar's otherwise fierce eyes, surprise mingling with the thrill of competition. The Overlord, momentarily thrown off balance, faltered just a hair as laughter erupted from the audience, creating an infectious wave of support. Driven by the energy of the crowd and a ridiculous sense of camaraderie, Griz leaned into the challenge, digging deep not for victory, but for honor. The Overlord's imposing strength bore down, but in that stressful crucible, something shifted within Griz. Every ounce of doubt transformed into a focus that united human determination with a flicker of hope that rang across worlds. What will you do now, O foolish human? Drak'tar growled, his words laced with incredulity. Caught between the world of laughter and earth-shattering possibility, Griz narrowed his eyes and rallied against the force. I will succeed, or I'll die trying. Hearing the laughter, the rooting shouts of his friends in the crowd, Griz leaned in, pushing against the Zynthian's massive hand with newfound fervor. Tension stretched taut as if the very universe held its breath, teetering on the edge of something monumental. A collision of might versus indomitable spirit. The audience's gasps and roars blended into a symphony of uncertainty as limbs across time and space intertwined through the singular act of standing up against all odds. And so it began, a battle where strength intertwined with the courageous spirit of a man undeterred, not solely for triumph, but for a moment of connection that transcended worlds. Together they stood at the precipice of what would become an extraordinary tale, one that would echo through realms yet unfathomable. Griz's fierce energy culminated into one powerful surge, and he felt the tide turn in his favor. Roused by the roaring support of the crowd, their cheers washing over him like waves on a restless shore, he focused every muscle, every drop of willpower he could muster into this single act of defiance. Drak'tar, momentarily taken aback by the shift, narrowed his eyes, confusion flickering briefly with a hint of intrigue. Griz could see the Overlord's facade of arrogance cracking under the weight of something unforeseen, a burgeoning respect for this audacious human who had dared challenge his reign. Enough of this folly, Drak'tar bellowed, trying to assert his dominance yet again, but there was a tremor in his voice now, a crack that spoke volumes about the depths of his panic. Griz leaned in harder, refusing to yield, knowing how pivotal this was for everyone watching. Together, Drak'tar, Griz shouted, glee bubbling in his chest, as he felt the final push of the crowd stir around him, an unstoppable force of joy crashing against the immovable wall of the Zynthian Overlord. You'll find that we can be greater than the sum of our parts. As if responding to Griz's fervor, a collective gasp rose from the throng. In that moment, the vibrant humanity shouted out, infusing him with strength, and Griz seized it. Igniting the flicker of understanding he had seen in Drak'tar's eyes, he pushed forward, igniting a wildfire of connection, humans and Zynthians intertwined in a tapestry of shared humanity. Griz's palm pressed firmly against the immovable Zynthian force, their hands struggling across the rickety table. We're not just here to be ruled, he gasped through clenched teeth, the exertion nearly overwhelming him. We're here to stand together. For a heartbeat, the contest transformed beyond mere physical competition. It morphed into something both sacred and audacious. Griz felt the weight of centuries of dominance break under the pressure of this moment, the very atmosphere thick with anticipation and feverish excitement. It was a fragile nexus through which destinies converged, sparking currents of change. Drak'tar's face contorted with frustration and disbelief as Griz pushed with all his might. No, he roared, an anguished howl that carried through the spaceport and rattled the airships docked nearby. You cannot defy me. But in the face of such fury, Griz held steady, recalling the funny moments shared with Lena, the laughter and warmth that drove him, the countless stories of human ingenuity that echoed in his heart. They had always found a way to connect, some spark igniting, and now it was time to reaffirm their bonds. "Do you realize what this means?" Griz panted, sweat glistening on his brow. "This is a chance to change everything." The realization hung in the air, pooling around them like a thick miasma. Could the Zynthian warrior understand what was at stake? As if illustrating his point, Lena stepped forward, her voice a beacon among the chaos. "It's not just about winning or losing. It's about what we can build together. A new future." Drak'tar, that fierce Zynthian overlord, found himself ensnared in an electric atmosphere caught between superiority and an unexpected surge of empathy. For the first time since his arrival, the crowd erupted into a chorus of affirmations that rang vibrant through his alien ears. The tide of the moment swelled as humans embraced their shared journey, redoubling their determination around their tiny champion. Griz felt the essence of their collective hope thrum vibrantly all around him, as though they became a part of something much grander. "Together we can build a bridge," Griz began, wrestling Drak'tar anew. "A bridge that joins our worlds without fear, overcoming the divide built by generations of pride." Griz's words reverberated through each heart present, and in that beat it felt transformative. Driven by this burgeoning hope, the moment unfurled before them, an ancient and powerful need, a recognition of the humanity that bound them all, eclipsing the vastness of the starry divide. Drak'tar's grip faltered, and Griz felt the rush of sweet victory as he pushed back, one muscle at a time, every fiber of his being fueled by passion and desire. Encouraged by the chorus of voices, he could hear the longing for connection, all waiting, yearning for the moment someone would make the first move. And in that split second, Drak'tar's own facade began to crack, revealing a shimmer of surprise as real human emotion pierced through his steely exterior. In that brief vulnerability, Griz felt the Overlord's resolve slip. "For too long you have underestimated us." Griz gasped, sweat pouring as he dug deeper, his voice echoing defiantly. "You can crush us physically, but your spirit cannot shatter what we have built together. A shadow cannot cast down a sun, and we are the sun." At that moment, the amassed humanity, the fiber of every heart interlaced and vibrant, swelled to its zenith. Griz summoned every ounce of energy left, every dream and hope shining brightly, connecting him to his friends, and in an unparalleled burst of force he pressed forward. Drak'tar's grip finally slipped, then slid until the Overlord's hand hit the barricade of the table with a dull thud, shock rippling across his features. Gasps erupted from the crowd, a chorus of disbelief and awe-fying atwining with celebration as they rallied together. They had witnessed greatness that transcended competition. It resonated with the magical spark of unity. With Drak'tar's defeat real and palpable, Griz exhaled deeply, feeling the weight lift from his shoulders. No longer did he only see an alien overlord before him, he saw a being vulnerable and uncertain, perhaps brought to the edge by the very spirit against which he had fought. The air crackled with new possibilities as the crowd erupted into a roar of triumph, expressions of joy erupting like newly blossomed flowers. Griz took a step back, hands still on the table, gazing at his formidable opponent and yet, strangely, with empathy. Drak'tar's expression softened, a look of contemplation deepening in his eyes. You are not what I expected," he conceded, each word deliberate, unraveling the misconceptions he had held tightly for so long. Griz used this moment not only a victory for himself, Lena, or the crowd, but a victory for every hopeful soul seeking connection. "Nor is this the end," he ventured, lungs brimming with the joy of possibility, "but rather a beginning." The tension dissipated into the air like a summer breeze, carrying with it whispers of unity and tentative reconciliation. And even as the Zynthian overlord stared, stunned by the culmination of his own assumptions being torn down, a new thought emerged, a crack in the castle of pride he had built around himself. "I will consider what you have said, human," Drak'tar finally spoke, his voice hushed yet powerful, a transformation lingering on the horizon. "Perhaps it is time we rebuild our bridges instead of burning them." And at that moment Griz felt hope alight anew, not just within him but around him, flowing through the realm of his people and the alien races, foreshadowing change in unmatched ways. In a patchwork of dreams woven across generations and timelines, they stood united, Griz, Lena, and the Zynthians at the precipice of a world about to be reshaped, underlined by the promise of harmony that could echo through their shared galaxy. Through a simple contest of strength and resilience, a conduit had been carved, a bridge that would span not only differences but hearts, creating the first embers of friendship amidst a cosmos longing to understand itself. And as they stood there, victorious yet humble, who knew what other incredible sights lay waiting just beyond the horizon of their newfound kinship? As the chorus of laughter, cheers, and shouts echoed through the grand square, it became a celebration not of victory, but of connection, a moment when two worlds previously distant and mistrustful now stood shoulder to shoulder, united in purpose. Griz felt the warmth of Lena's support at his side, and he knew that they had sparked something remarkable within the hearts of the crowd and even in the depths of Drak'tar's enigmatic spirit. "Can you feel it?" Griz whispered to Lena, who was beaming with pride. The electric atmosphere buzzed around them, a palpable force that seemed to breathe and swell with energy. Lena nodded, her emerald eyes shining like jewels. "This is more than just a fleeting moment. It's a shift, Griz, a real change in perspective." Drak'tar, still recovering from his moment of unexpected vulnerability, surveyed the throng of united humans and Zynthians. "There is potential here that I have never considered," he admitted, his voice resonating with genuine thoughtfulness. "We have presented ourselves as conquerors and subjects for far too long. Perhaps it's time for a different narrative." Joy erupted from the crowd at his words. Griz found himself invigorated by the Zynthians' inclination to forge a new path where once they had been regarded as conquerors and the conquered. Now they could become allies in a grand adventure beyond the stars. "What sorts of exploration could we embark on?" A voice called from the crowd, the question reflecting the shared curiosity that surged in the throng. Griz turned to Drak'tar, his mind racing with possibilities. "Imagine sharing technologies, cultures, histories, everything we can create together. What if we explored uncharted planets or shared stories of our ancestors?" "Yes," Drak'tar exclaimed, enthusiasm building within him. "Knowledge exchanged across our peoples would fortify the bridges we build." The crowd erupted into another spontaneous cheer, their spirits soaring upon the wings of hope and ambition. The human and Zynthian faces intertwined with excitement where fear and mistrust once reigned. A vision of mutual understanding emerged, glimmering brighter and more inviting than the vast cosmos itself. "We could establish a council, one that represents both humans and Zynthians," Griz declared, his voice charged with inspiration. "To gather once a month, share advancements, ideas, and plan expeditions together. Every decision made in harmony, fostering collaboration between our worlds." Drak'tar's eyes widened, the enthusiasm palpable as he nodded along with every word. "A council of unity." He rumbled, the energy of the crowd surging in response. "This may be the very thing to heal our scars, a pact of friendship and exploration." From the crowd, a fervent voice called out, "We will advocate together. We can teach each other about our lands, our peoples, and our dreams." Skills exchanged, traditions shared. A multitude of voices erupted, filled with fervor and passion, creating a dynamic rhythm echoing the heartbeat of newfound alliances. Griz, overwhelmed by the myriad of promising ideas clashing joyfully in the air, raised his arms to still the vibration undulating through the square. "What do we desire?" He hyped into the air, igniting the crowd like tinder before a roaring flame. "To explore, to learn, to grow, and that starts now." "Now," the throng echoed back, a magnificent swell reverberating through them, affirming the collective intention. Lena stepped forward, her voice steady yet nurturing. "We're capable of so much more when we extend our hands to one another. This is just the beginning. Imagine what we can do across dimensions together." Drak'tar turned, capturing Griz's intent gaze. "But, human, what of our differences? Would they not hinder this collaboration?" Griz smiled, emboldened by their connection. "Differences can be our strengths. Just as our histories may contrast, those histories enriched by each of our worlds can interlace into a beautiful tapestry. Let us embrace those differences instead of fearing them." The air resonated with the vibrant heartbeat of promise, and Drak'tar took a step closer to Griz. "If we can cultivate a foundation built on trust, we can broaden our horizons and unfold destinies previously thought impossible." Griz felt a surge of camaraderie washing over him. Then let's create that foundation. Let both our worlds thrive under a new commitment. Together we will ensure our peoples can grow and flourish like wildflowers on the frontier of the universe. Together. The crowd roared, a vibrant pulse that resonated through every soul present. As dusk began to cloak the horizon in hues of amber and violet, the square transformed into a gathering of dreams. People mingled, Zynthians and humans exchanging laughter, ideas, and glances filled with understanding. Griz caught sight of a child, whose curious gaze was ensnared by Drak'tar's shimmering features. With gentle persuasion, the Zephyr-like Overlord knelt, connecting with the innocence of a child, a singular act symbolizing the expansive horizons yet to explore. "Do not fear differences," Drak'tar spoke, his voice tender yet resonant. "Embrace them, for they are the very roots of who we are." Laughter enveloped them, weaving an indelible bond amidst the turmoil of the galaxy outside. From that moment forward, the echoes of what had once divided them transformed into a pathway that would guide them toward understanding and collaboration. As darkness deepened, illuminating stars began to shine brilliantly overhead, a celestial audience for the blooming friendship flourishing below. Griz marveled. "Tonight will mark an extraordinary pivot point in our histories, and together we shall explore realms of celestial wonder, hand in hand. Let us remember this, friends, as our dawn." A gentle breeze whispered across the square, weaving whispers of unity into the fabric of the universe. Thus, under the starlit balcony of eternity, Griz and Drak'tar unfurled an awe-inspiring promise, a tale of unity ignited, where they could explore, share, and thrive together in an infinite cosmos teeming with potential. And as night took hold, the clamor settled into a soft hum of camaraderie, humans and Zynthians alike taking the first steps toward a glorious tomorrow, a promise forged in laughter, discovery, and the willingness to embrace a shared future. In that space, where colliding destinies intertwined, lay the first breaths of a new chapter, pregnant with possibilities yet to unfold. As Griz and Drak'tar's hands clasped in that defining moment, a ripple of energy surged through the gathering arena, wrapping around them like a warm embrace, igniting a newfound vigor in both the humans and Zynthians. Cheers morphed back into a symphony of unity, with voices rising high, manifestations of hope painting the air. The connection forged between their worlds became a tangible thread, woven by the stories they shared and the dreams they dared to envision together. What had once been a mere contest had blossomed into a vibrant partnership, one that would break the boundaries of culture and tradition. "Let us begin the first steps toward our alliance," Drak'tar proclaimed, his voice resonating with newfound authority, tempered now by a temperament forged in mutual respect. "I invite you, Griz, and all humans present to the Zynthian Council. Let us explore our legacies, our innovations, and draw forth knowledge that exists beyond our confines." Griz felt the gravity of the invitation envelop him. A council. With Zynthians? He echoed, disbelief mingling with the bubbling excitement in his chest. "We'd be honored. Think of the possibilities that await: cultural exchanges, collaborative projects, even joint explorations of uncharted territories." Sophie chimed in, her face lit with determination. "And we could organize festivals, events celebrating both human and Zynthian cultures. A chance to share our arts, our traditions, a chance for understanding to flourish." "Yes," Lena added, eyes gleaming with fervor. "Imagine a shared technology showcase. We will bring forth our brightest ideas and inventions, and through partnership, bolster innovations unimaginable to both species." The crowd ignited with enthusiasm, the fiery zest of possibility igniting within. As passionate discussions danced through the air, imaginations ignited, each person present weaving their own aspirations into the fabric of the union. As they chattered excitedly, Drak'tar's gaze lingered on the animated faces, a smile beginning to blossom across his daunting visage. "You speak of strength and innovation, yet I see something with more weight: the bonds of friendship. This shall not only unite our people but enhance who we are as beings. It is time the Zynthian Empire steps beyond its isolation and embraces a multifaceted existence." In a celebratory response, the crowd erupted into joyful applause while Griz felt warmth bloom in his chest. The reality of their potential partnership resonated deep within him, brimming with promise. "So how do we start?" Griz asked, exuding excitement. "What's first on the agenda?" Drak'tar turned, surveying the vibrant faces around him. "Let us call for emissaries from both races. We will meet regularly under this united banner. Let our goals guide us. Every month we convene not just for discussions, but to experience one another's worlds firsthand." A ripple of cheers coursed through the crowd, the spirit of excitement buoying them like a tide. They clamored, voices joining in affirmation, each individual eager for the roads yet to be traveled. Griz felt the infectious energy wash over him. The night sky was now filled with constellations of ideas, each sparkling with potential melded dreams. Then let's get started. We need human representatives and Zynthian ambassadors who will shape this together. Me, came a sudden call from the crowd, a familiar, fervent voice. It was Marcus, a local community leader known for his infectious spirit and relentless determination. "I want to help. We'll gather the best minds, engineers, artists, storytellers, all to craft an unprecedented legacy." Drak'tar nodded firmly, eyes brightening. "And I shall call forth my most esteemed advisors, a council formed with your emissaries in tandem, united by our resolve." Cheers erupted again as the excitement cascaded through the gathered masses, expectations intertwining with ambitions, the sleek vessel of unity commencing its maiden voyage. With laughter and exhilaration swirling around, Griz could hardly believe how far they had come since that fateful showdown with the Overlord. From insurmountable odds, they had birthed a new narrative, resources pooled, hearts intertwined. As the evening deepened, camaraderie pulsed through the crowd, in insatiable eagerness to begin. Griz's mind whirled with the potential outcomes. He could already envision their adventures exploring together, guiding each other through the collective histories that had shaped their civilizations, crafting a legacy rewritten by collaboration rather than conquest. As midnight approached, Lena introduced her prototype, a small device flickering with lights, vibrations of connection buzzing with promise. "Tonight, let us network, share ideas, and connect our systems. A direct interface to ensure our alliance thrives." Eagerly, the humans began connecting their personal devices, each vibrantly unique, compiling data from Earth that pulsed with life and creativity through Lena's small invention. On the other side, Drak'tar used his Zynthian technology, a complex web of knowledge, threading their worlds into sync. The crowd watched in rapt attention as streams of information merged onto the screen, illuminating the shared possibilities. Cultural insights, artistic depictions, scientific advancements, and philosophical reflections flowed alongside each other like a river of knowledge, a colorful blend of shared human experiences and Zynthian wisdom. "I see this," Drak'tar noted, his voice steady and contemplative. "It is not merely a merging of technologies, it is a melding of the spirit. Here within lies the promise of undiscovered paths." Griz leaned forward, desire igniting in his heart. "From this moment forward, we are learning and innovating together. What we share here tonight will set the foundation for our future. We become architects of our destiny." The atmosphere brimmed with excitement as conversations flourished, each person present dedicating their thoughts to dreams previously unattainable. Laughter blossomed amidst shared stories, and old dichotomies began to dissipate in the light of newfound understanding. As night deepened, Griz sensed their journey was merely beginning. The atmosphere, once heavy with uncertainty, was now infused with bright threads of connection weaving through every interaction, illuminating the space they occupied together. With every heartbeat, they nurtured their commitment, their newfound alliance blazing through the anchor of old grievances. What they had witnessed tonight etched not only upon their memories but into the very fabric of their people's histories. The pressure of past conflicts would not vanish overnight, but with the foundation laid that night, they had forged more than a fragile alliance. They had given birth to an unwavering bond, a commitment to discovery, unity, and friendship that would stretch across stars and galaxies. And as they stood together, united beneath the shimmering stars, Griz felt certain. Hand in hand, humans and Zynthians alike stood proudly at the edge of the universe, gazing toward horizons untested and newfound adventures waiting to unfold. In this kaleidoscope of dreams interwoven, the dawn of a new era sparked and began to rise, a canvas yet to be painted with the stories they were destined to create together. The swirling colors of celebration filled the air, vibrant and intoxicating, as Griz, Drak'tar, and their eclectic entourage began drafting their vision for an unprecedented alliance. An unseen current flowed between Earth and the Zynthian Empire, tearing down walls and illuminating paths that only moments before had seemed insurmountable. "Imagine," Drak'tar said, optimism lighting up his face, his imposing stature softened by the thrill of possibility. "The technological advancements. The triumph of innovation when your creativity mingles with our resources." Griz leaned forward, a wide grin breaking across his face as the first stars slowly emerged from the twilight canopy above. "And the cultural exchange. Can you picture it? Humans devouring your unique dishes, laughing over how spicy those Zynthian curries can be. We could hold festivals that paint the sky bright, where storytelling from either side dances in the night." Beside him, Lena's eyes sparkled with mischief, "And I'm already sketching recipes in my mind. We could create a Zynthian taco festival. Just imagine savory fillings and rich spices colliding in an explosion of flavors." The mental image fired up her passion, her excitement palpable. Drak'tar let out a deep, resonant laugh that rippled through the gathered crowd like a warm wave. "You humans are indeed peculiar," he said, an exaggerated frown tugging at the corners of his mouth, though the glimmer of amusement danced in his eyes. "But it is precisely this peculiarity that makes our collaboration worthwhile. The beauty of diversity, the blend of our identities. We shall create something unparalleled." As the joyful chatter began to settle into a concentrated momentum, the air thrummed with budding excitement. Griz jotted down ideas in his tattered notebook while the Zynthians shared their vast knowledge, insights into longevity, advanced agriculture capabilities, and their pioneering renewable technologies. Humans responded with fervor, generating a fusion of blueprints that began to weave a new societal tapestry. Ideas sprawled out like intricate vines twirling upwards into the latticework of their newfound partnership. Yet, amid this burgeoning hope, Griz felt a weight pressing silently onto his chest, a nagging worry that persisted under the rippling merriment. For every laugh, every clink of celebratory cups, shadows of the past flickered in the corners of his mind. Would legacy-eclipsing rivalry be enough? "What does this really mean?" Griz pondered aloud, breaking the thread of laughter and levity, as his voice cast a momentary stillness upon the gathering. "What is this alliance between us?" The sun dipped lower, colors shifting through the sky, elongating shadows that danced across the hill. Drak'tar's posture straightened, the world suddenly growing heavier at the insistence of Griz's asking gaze. "It means surrender?" barked a Zynthian with slick, swirling skin, his wiry frame punctuated by folds of brilliantly hued material. The skepticism dripped from his words, a question born from fear. "To abandon our own path in favor of yours? Why must we shed our essence?" Drak'tar shot his retainer an icy glare, yet the tension that descended upon their gathering was thick enough to cut with a knife. The line between eagerness and doubt blurred. "It's about transcending boundaries," Drak'tar declared, his voice firm, a layer of steel creeping in. "We do not lose our identities when we join forces. In truth, we grow stronger. We learn to see value in one another's existence." Griz interjected, urgency coloring his voice. "But we must do so without erasing what is precious about your culture or mine. Our journey won't erase the unique tapestries we've each woven. Instead, it enhances them, allowing society to flourish like colors on a painter's canvas. We're not asking for forgetfulness, just a willingness to embrace." And with those words, a quiet transformation sparked among them, the potential for unity rising like steam from a sweltering pot. Drak'tar exchanged glances with the skeptical onlookers. Even the most doubtful fell silent, absorbing the weight of hope. "Let's frame it differently," Lena said, stepping resolutely into the dialogue. "This is about synergy of cultures, not a forced merging. We're not discarding what's powerful about your empire but encouraging both identities while respecting our autonomy. We can foster real connection without eroding what makes us unique." A ripple of comprehension surged through the crowd, a gentle wave sweeping the walls of doubt into the ether. Drak'tar mulled over Lena's framing, nodding slowly, recognition in his deep-set eyes. "You speak wisdom, human," he conceded with a reluctant grin. "Synergy. Yes, it captures our goal beautifully." The retainer, a flicker of uncertainty still swirling within him, spoke cautiously. "But can we truly detach ourselves from the ambitions of supremacy?" Griz leaned forward, his voice earnest and unwavering. "We need not abandon ambition nor strength. What we strive for now is a world where alliances reign over conquest and curiosity trumps dominance. Just look at us. What kind of legacy would we leave behind if we continuously battle for power? We're here to break these cycles, forging a new legacy together. Murmurs of consideration spread through the gathering, uncertainty melding into curiosity as Zynthians exchanged glances. With their apprehensions challenged, the prospect of a future ignited flickers of hope in deeper ways than they had anticipated. As dusk embraced the horizon, Griz and Lena seated themselves atop a grassy knoll, the vibrant hum of celebration draping over them like a soft blanket. The atmosphere around them buzzed with excitement as they mulled over the journey ahead, marveling at the life-altering realities that had emerged from the spark of a single arm wrestling match. "If a month ago you told me this would be happening," Lena murmured softly, "I'd have laughed it off as absurd." Griz chuckled, leaning back to cradle his head against the cool earth beneath him. "I know, right? It seemed impossible. Who knew an arm wrestle would ignite a partnership this profound?" The stars began to twinkle overhead, mirroring the vibrant energy of the crowd below. Griz observed the humans and Zynthians mingling, a salad bowl of endurance blended with a flourish of camaraderie. The sights and sounds rested his chest with excitement and hope. They had transformed rivals into family, setting the stage for a partnership sown firmly in shared dreams. And yet lurking within that hope dwelled a clear-eyed reality. Their journey had just begun, and overcoming deeply ingrained biases and fears wouldn't be easy. With a thoughtful sigh, determination flooded Griz once more, igniting his fierce resolve. "We'll have to approach this step by step, won't we? It's no small feat." "No, it won't be," Lena agreed earnestly, "but we will see it through together. Making our alliance a reality will take tenacity and commitment and unwavering courage without fear or retreat." Griz felt warmth unfurl within him, a radiance shared in their connection. A transformation brewed as the night continued to shift. The bonds formed today would need patience, understanding, and an unyielding trust. Under a multitude of stars blanketing the heavens, he unexpectedly found himself drawn to Drak'tar, who stood engaged with a group, a bridge between worlds, a figure cementing the alliance with vibrant discussions. Bubbles of laughter floated around them, guitars strummed out melodies of welcome, and mixed tunes of joy began wrapping around the fabric of the night. Among the crowd, Griz recognized that in this singular moment, a legacy was born. Tomorrow, their truths would rise together. Yet tonight, on the precipice of new beginnings, the cutting of preordained chains had finally begun. Griz turned back to Lena, an uncontainable excitement rising through him like a tender flame. "We've planted seeds of something transformative," he said, casting a glance at the laughter-flecked horizon. "A future where both humanity and Zynthians not only survive but thrive, a chance to reach for the stars." As joy mingled with the soft night air, humans and Zynthians continued the celebration, cracking jokes, sharing tales, and painting the sky with vibrant hopes. In that moment they all understood the path ahead would bloom with challenges. Yet the very act of embracing their differences now ignited the promise that change could flourish from this very collaboration, a dance of intimacy between diverse cultures, weaving a vibrant legacy that was destined to endure. The universe hummed around them, its energy resonating in the intimate knots that had formed through heartfelt connections. Together, Griz and Lena watched as their worlds began to intertwine, an infusion of cultures basking in a landscape painted in the colors of hope and unity. They were no longer just individuals wrestling with an identity, but rather custodians of a rich tapestry destined to flourish beyond their wildest imaginings. And as the night deepened, Griz and Lena's laughter drifted high above, mingling freely with the stars that had witnessed the birth of something extraordinary, a partnership built upon brilliant and unexpected foundations, where dreams intermingled and spooned beneath celestial light.